Welcome to the Dray Way. I'm glad you're here. We're counting down from 38 today all the way down every day to election day. And yeah, we're just 38 days away. And right before I started filming this right now, I'm sitting here and I'm getting everything all set, and I'm watching this pigeon come flying across. And do you see this tree right here? The pigeon ran right into it. I've never seen that in my entire life. I'm sitting here doing stuff, and he flies and goes tunk and lands on the ground, and I'm like, "Are you okay, buddy?" and he walked around for about 2 minutes and then took off. I just thought I'd share that. I've never seen that. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but he ran right into that tree right there. I mean, just boom. So anyway, we are 38 days out. I digress. We are 38 days out. And if you didn't see Trump's performance last night, yeah, it was bad. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. I know I've talked about it a little bit, but I want to just, for some of you that haven't heard this, you need to hear this, because watching Trump last night in Michigan was painful. I mean, it was a painful thing to watch because he's just dumb. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying it to be factual. He's dumb. I mean, if you don't know the answer to something, seek out the answer. Or say, you know what, that's a good question. I'll have a better answer when I put some thought to it. Let me get back to you on that one. No. He was asked a very simple question. Here in Michigan, we like to make cars. It's our livelihood. What would you do as president to make sure Michigan car jobs stay here? What do you think he said? Yeah, I don't even know how to put it into words, because he started rambling on about, of course, himself, and gave the most non-answer. And that's what I want you guys to understand. He never answers the question. Everybody's like, oh, well, Trump takes questions all the time. No, he doesn't. He takes them. He doesn't answer them. He doesn't answer them at all. And if you say he does, you have not listened. You have not listened to a single one of his answers, because his answers are horrible, terrible, awful. And you want to know why? Because he's dumb. Yeah, and I'm not just name calling him. I'm not trying to pick on the old man, but he's dumb. And it's not just my opinion. It's the opinion of most people that have worked in and around that man, because he's not willing to take in new information and formulate an opinion. He thinks he knows everything. And since when do we even like people like that? Since when? Since when have we ever liked a know-it-all? Because he's the biggest know-it-all in history. He knows everything about everything, and he tells you so. He tells you how much he knows about everything. When did we start liking that? When did that happen? But it all goes to the fact that I need you guys to understand. I need you to listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Republican presidents are terrible. They do an awful job. If anyone says to you that they're voting Republican, ask why. Why would you do that when we have such a long history of them doing so poorly? Why would you want a Republican office ever again? Why? Tell me. I can't wait to hear this. Because Nixon, like I said before, was so bad that he had to be physically removed from the office. Both parties had to go in and go, yeah, you need to leave. You need to leave like now. Well, I got 2 years left. No, Mr. President. No. You're a crook. you're a racist, and you're just really, really, really bad at your job. You need to leave right now. That's how it basically went. Then we elect another Republican. We bring in Ronald Reagan. I think he even beats Trump in just pure corruption. I think either that or they're just dead tied. I can't figure it out yet. But I guess more history will be written on Trump, because Lord knows everybody around Trump is a criminal and goes to jail. And everybody in Reagan's administration was indicted or went to jail because they were criminals, including Ronald Reagan. And then what do we do after Ronald Reagan? We have beautiful years with Clinton. We have a great time. Things are rocking with Clinton. And we thought we nominated Gore for president, but the Supreme Court, the Republican Supreme Court, saw it differently and handed over Florida for some reason, without doing a total recount, to George Bush. And George Bush did everything that man could to destroy the country, to put it into a war we didn't belong in, with people that didn't offend us. And yeah, we all know how that ended. The total collapse of our economy, banks faltering everywhere. We remember that, right? Yeah, it was awful. So then we hand the reins over to Obama. Yeah, President Obama for the next 8 years fixes everything. The economy is doing well, gas prices are low, everything is beautiful. And he hands the keys over to Trump and says, I thought this was going to be Hillary. It really should have been Hillary so we could continue the good stuff. But here you go, Donald Trump. And in what? 3-4 years, he burns the whole thing to the ground. Millions of people without a job. Him walking around, oh, this COVID thing? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's going to go away in a few days. You know? Oh, this COVID thing, it's still around? Yeah, you can just use bleach. Yeah. So here comes President Biden once again to fix everything, because we're in the dumpsters. Yeah. So he spends the next 4 years fixing everything, and all Republicans can do is, everything's terrible, it's awful. America isn't what it used to be. If we could just take it back to 1950. And you know, people of color are like, 1950? What? Wait a minute, what? You want to take things back to 1950? Yeah, no thanks. No, we're not, no. And even women are like, what? 1950? Yeah, we're not signing up for this either. Yeah. That's what's going on right now. That's what's at stake. And that's what people are trying to tell you. Hey, never mind the history. Never mind all the terrible things Republican presidents have done. Never mind that they've all been criminals. Never mind that most of their staff ends up going to jail or getting indicted. Never mind. Just put me in again. Just put Trump in again. Everything will be fine. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the show. I didn't mean to start off that way, but, you know, I just had to get that off my chest. If you can tell, I just get it off my chest. But anyway, if you have not subscribed yet, please be a subscriber. We got 30. We're counting down. We're at 38, and we're going to count all the way down to 0. Thanks for joining me. We got more to talk about. Let's get started on the next subject. People always need some type of help with a website. At the end of this, you're going to notice a template. I'm going to give you a free template to get your own website. It's absolutely free, no cost to you. The link is right at the end of this. And as a matter of fact, it might be, if I pick up my chin, it might be right here. If it's not right here, it's going to be at the end of this. So check it out. It's your way to get your free website template. So please just go right here or go to the thing at the end and get your free website template. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. I'd love to help you. Polls, and more polls. That's all everybody wants to talk about. And I want to give you a few polls that you can actually look at and get decent information from. The 3 polls that I would say that you could get decent information from, Bloomberg is definitely one of them. The Bloomberg poll, the NBC poll, and I think the Quinnipiac poll can also be very good information state by state as well. But if you take a look at those 3 main polls, never mind, I don't care what the New York Times comes out with. I don't care what Emerson comes out with. I don't care what the New York Times comes out with. Disregard those. Those are not real polls anyway. They're just Republican talking points. They try to make Republicans feel better, like they're doing okay. But in the real polls, Harris is winning everywhere. Yeah, Donald Trump isn't winning anywhere. In Nevada, I got good news for you. For today, starting right now, today, I am calling Nevada. Nevada is for Harris. Nevada is officially blue. I wasn't going to call it until the 5th, but the data is too overwhelming. Nevada is voting blue. So the states that I have called blue so far, Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. And of course, with those 6 states, it easily makes Harris the president of the United States. So yes, that puts her over, well over 270, and that's ultimately what the path is about, is the 270. So when you start getting in the information, especially as we get this close to the election, if you notice, even Nate Silver, who's been like, well, Trump has a slight lead and Trump this and Trump that, is now starting to come out and go, well, now that the election is getting close, if I had a hand to play, I would want to play Harris's hand. Wink, wink. And in other words, he knows Harris is in the lead. He knows Harris is going to win. He knows that. But because he's paid by a Republican, he has to play the game. He has to pretend, oh, well, it's razor. If you notice some of these news stations and stuff like that, they'll cite a poll and say, it's razor thin. And you're sitting there going, yeah, that's not what Bloomberg said. That's not what NBC said. That's not even what Fox said. Oh, you're looking for a poll that says what you want it to say. Oh, if we want a Republican poll, we'll go check out Rasmussen, because Rasmussen they pull numbers out of their butt. Yeah, they just make stuff up, just so you know. Just keep that between you and me. So yeah, that's polling 101. That's basically what you need to know. Because you don't want to look at some of these Republican polls, because they have no basis in reality. They are not real. They are not providing you any information that you need to know. But I have to admit, Fox News actually spends money on their poll. NBC actually spends good money on their poll, as does Quinnipiac and Bloomberg. So these are trustable sources, state by state. Whatever you do, don't listen to national polls too heavily. They just don't matter. And we already know what's going to happen. We already know the number is anywhere from 8 to 12 million. She's going to win by somewhere between 8 and 12 million. If it's by 12 million, it's a blowout. If it's by more than 12 million, it's a big blowout. But I don't think anybody sees this election from a national standpoint being within any more than 8 million like it was under Biden. If anything, she's going to get a lot more votes. So I wouldn't trust a national poll saying things are tight. If a national poll says things are tight, I would consider, how it was done and where it was done. And the thing that constantly, if you look at the polls themselves, if you actually study the polls, if you actually look at them and break them down as to where they're taken, what age groups they asked, etc., you will find that people voting 18 to 29 is going to set a record this time. There is going to be millions and millions of voters 18 to 29. And more people that age are going to vote than ever before. Yet, if you look at the polls don't exactly, they're not exactly approaching people 18 to 29 in a proper sample to give the proper weight to some of these polls. So do I think Harris at times is actually underpolling? Yeah, I think she's underpolling, and here she has in many places a 3, 4, 5% lead. So again, that's my breakdown of the polls. If you have any questions, let me know what you think. I hope that's given you the information that you need. Again, please subscribe because we're going to be counting down all the way to 0. And here we are 38 days out. And I just called Nevada. Yeah, I just called Nevada. So put that on the 6 states that are blue for Harris. And what other states do I need to call? I guess I'm still left with having to call Georgia. And I will wait till October 5th. And then I will call Georgia, Florida, and Texas. Because as of today, as of right now, just as a side note, I think Ted Cruz is going to lose in Texas. I believe the numbers are there for Ted Cruz to lose in Texas. But we will talk about that very specifically in an upcoming show. For now, thanks for joining me. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you want to check me out over at TikTok, it's just at Drayton Nay. And by the way, we now have a merch store. I now have a merch store. If you want to check out blue merchandise, go to bluestatestyle.com. bluestatestyle.com. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next one. If you haven't seen previous episodes, check them out. And don't forget, brand new episode tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later.